Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bullspend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, everyone. I am Cathy Hackl, your host for Tech Magic, the podcast where we journey into the heart of technology, innovation, and everything in between. As always, I am joined by my amazing co-host, Lee Kebler. Lee, how you doing?
I'm here.
Okay. You know what? Let's not talk about anything related to that. Let's go straight to some gaming news.
Yes.
Breaking, because we are recording on Monday and has broken in the last 30 minutes. This obviously drops on Wednesday. But what's going on? Because you didn't even tell me.
No, and it's because it broke so recently. No one was really sure what to expect. But this also has to do with Nintendo. And it doesn't actually have to do with video games. Can you take a guess? So this is not like the Switch 2 release or anything like that.
Is it a lawsuit?
Nope, no, nothing negative. Nothing like that.
Is it like a physical space?
It is a physical space.
Ooh.
Ding,
Okay,
ding, ding,
we're
ding,
going to
ding.
be talking about like virtual coming to the physical world in a bit. So
what is Nintendo's physical space?
the Universal Studios Super Mario Kart world or whatever it's called.
Yeah. And they just announced, so there will be a new addition to Super Nintendo World that is not Mario themed. They are expanding their theme park. It'll be in Japan. Okay. Japan's theme park will open on the 11th of December, a month from today when we're recording.
Oh my goodness.
It's already operational. It's amazing. It will open a year from now in Orlando as an addition to Super Nintendo World in Orlando Universal.
Oh, that's really exciting.
So can you guess what it is? I'll give you a hint. It's bananas. It's Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. I was going to say Donkey Kong. I want to double check.
30 minutes ago, they announced Donkey Kong Land in Japan. It will be open a year from now in Universal Orlando. It looks absolutely amazing.
Did they show any sketches or anything?
No, they showed the actual theme park.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So they had footage of the theme park. They didn't show the entire ride, but I will say that the ride is based off of the infamous minecart rides that happen in Donkey Kong Country. And Miyamoto was there and said that there's some part of that ride that actually jumps the tracks like you do in...
Like in the game?
Yeah, like in the game. So they didn't show any of it.
Okay, they didn't show it. Did they say anything about AR?
No, I do not think this involves AR. This feels very tangible. It was a lot of hands-on. Even like the games that they had around, they've got like big bongos that you play rhythm-based games in real life.
Matthew McConaughey is going to love that, but okay.
It's really quite clever because one of my favorite things about theme parks is actually the music and how it transitions when you go into different areas. So this music's playing in the background and you go up to these bongos and you have to play on beat with the music in the area and like things will spawn and pop out of like a surprise box. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I have really bad rhythm, so I'm probably not going to happen for me, but that's okay. I mean, I could dance. I just musically, I can't play an instrument. So we'll see how that goes.
It was pretty amazing. I'll tell you the thing that impressed me the most is the Donkey Kong costume. You always go to a theme park and you have the Donkey Kong costume is massive. I don't know how it works. As someone who grew up in Florida, who went to Universal Studios and who went to Disney World and has always been around like these big theme park mascot costumes, the Donkey Kong one is like the height of two people. I have no idea how the Donkey Kong costume works, but it is very impressive. Anyways, that's my breaking news.
Do you think it's going to be like a really tall
It's going to
character.
have to be. It's just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it is.
What do they call them? Not crew members. They call them cast members.
Cast,
right?
yeah,
A really
the cast members.
tall cast member. So if you're 6'3" and 6'4", there you go. There's your next dream job.
Yeah, it is a huge, very impressive looking costume. But that's all I've got on that. I just had to say it. I mean, it happened 30 minutes ago. It looks super fun. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to make it to Japan to go see it. Like, it is wild that it opens in a month. Like,
well, I will tell you this. So I just got an invitation to the World Fair next year because the World Fair next year is in Osaka. 2025 World Fair was in Dubai. Was it Dubai last time? It was somewhere in the Middle East last World Fair. Now the new World Fair is in Osaka, Japan. So if we get to go, we'll just head over. I mean, I'm not sure where Nintendo World is.
I'll make it to Orlando one before I probably make it to the Japan one. But what I did notice is they didn't make any mention of California.
There's no space, Lee. I mean, we've both been there. Like, where would you put that? There's no space.
Yeah. I mean, they could take out that golf course that's right next to it, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen. No, that's not going to happen. They love their golf. So, yeah, it makes sense for it to be in Orlando, a lot more space. Once again, I think big news from a gaming perspective, gaming coming into the physical world, gaming becoming more important. And then also the fact that it is a nostalgic game, right? That kind of goes across multiple generations. I find that very interesting, right? Because my kids know Donkey Kong. I know Donkey Kong. Like, there is that connection there. This is interesting that we start with this story because our rundown is completely organized in a different way, but I'm going to go here now. So I'm going to jump to talking about ideas and concepts of the metaverse and how people talk it's dead, but it isn't. It's still being built. But an article, really interesting article written by our friend Megan McDowell from Vogue Business last week, talk about how the metaverse is moving into physical retail. Pop-ups and exhibitions are using metaverse technology to create more memorable experiences, blending practical with fantastical at a time when the word metaverse has faded from popularity. So bringing that physical world experience using all this type of metaverse tech to make it more exciting, more immersive. We continue to see that across, whether it is Shiseido and NARS doing really interesting things, or whether it is the new Elvis show that is going to be happening in London, or the Ava show, even the Sphere, I would call that kind of like bringing tech into the physical world. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I do think that there is, to me, I've always said this in every stage I've been on, the big unlock or the holy grail is when the metaverse truly extends into the physical world.
And I've always agreed with that. I think the thing that I always like to push back and challenge goes back into like history. There's all this talk right now that I've seen about how, and even you said it, the term metaverse has faded into obscurity. People take that as a negative. But I will challenge our listeners. If you go back into the archives, find our early shows when metaverse, and I said it back then, you said it back then, was that Forbes buzzword you could not get away from. And we both said you will know it was successful when it stops being a thing and just is enveloped. This technology is about connecting digital to real life scenarios, connecting identity to digital scenarios. Those technologies will persist. And the only reason why we had this metaverse term on it was because we had to come up with a noun that described it. We had to come up with a name so that people knew what we were talking about. So I've never once considered, oh, the metaverse is dead or the metaverse is dying or it's gone into obscurity. It has not. It's done exactly what we have said all along, and that is assimilate into technology and society at the same time. So this is a natural progression. We've seen, obviously we've talked ad nauseum about Walmart going into like the Roblox metaverse stuff and making that, having physical retail push throughs there and breakthroughs there. That's going to continue with other brands. We see this happening. There's no decoupling the brand from the gaming community or the gaming community from the digital lifestyle community. And you are not going to decouple the digital lifestyle community from the actual lifestyle community. That's all it's ever been. So great. More power to them. I'm glad we were right. I don't know what else to say when I hear stuff
Well,
like
as the
this.
godmother of the metaverse, right? The fact that the word metaverse is just not fashionable, right? People don't want to use it. But I still say, like, this is the successor state to today's mobile internet, whether we call it metaverse, spatial web, whatever term it is that you want to use.
Right.
It's just the web, right? The future state, successor state of today's mobile internet. So excited to see that. Other news related to that, talking about physical world stuff. Meta is opening up a pop-up retail store for the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. It'll open to the public in LA starting November 8th. So yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, I don't think anyone's surprised by it. Meta has done pop-up stores in the past. I think that works for them very well. Ray-Ban totally deserves a pop-up store. It's already open in Los Angeles. So if you're by the time this goes live, if you're in LA, you probably need to get there because it's going to probably shut down soon. So go check it out.
Go get your Ray-Ban Meta sunglasses and get demos. I love mine. I really enjoyed them. I brought them on safari, like I mentioned. That's my favorite vacation with my Meta Ray-Bans. As long as I'm letting people know I'm filming or taking pictures, I think it's fine. You can tell, right? We've talked about this. You can tell because the light turns on.
You know, and the thing is, I think that like these pop-ups, more of these need to exist, especially as we start approaching the wearable. Well, not just the holiday season, just wearables in general. But yes, with the holiday season, doubly so, especially if you're like, oh, maybe my so-and-so friend, whatever, wants these for Christmas or their holidays. Okay, fine. Let's actually go to a pop-up and try them to make sure that it is the pair you want. Don't go just like shadow dropping this as a gift because there's too many selections. There's too many options. I think that this is what's necessary. I also think this is controversial. I think it's a play, like the pop-up is something that the Apple Vision Pro should have done.
Wholehearted. I don't think it's controversial at all, Lee. I agree. I mean, it was pop-up-ish in the sense that it was in the Apple stores, but they should have done some type of like roadshow or some type of like I agree with you.
Those Apple stores were not the right location. They're already super busy. A lot of them are crowded or they're in malls. Like it just wasn't the right, when you're doing a white glove level reveal of a very expensive hardware like that, which if you can do it for the Ray-Bans, which are a fraction of the cost, there was money on the table to do it for that. I just think that it needed a little bit more of that oomph, that pizzazz to putting it in front of the market. And I think a pop-up could have done wonders for getting people to at least see the vision of where the Apple Vision Pro was going.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't think that's controversial. I think they would have benefited from it. And they probably, maybe when they bring version 2, or we are going to talk about smart glasses in Apple, whenever they do that, more consumer-facing, fun. It could
Has
be
Apple ever done a pop-up? I don't recall that ever being a thing.
I mean, I don't think so. I do think they had a really good evangelist strategy when they had Guy Kawasaki. And they still have an army of evangelists, but I think they're very focused on developers and very focused. Like, if you ask me, who is Apple's Vision Pro evangelist?
Tim Cook?
Maybe like Tim Cook, right? Like, we're talking about all the freaking time. I can't give you a name. I feel like they had a really good evangelist strategy when they had Guy Kawasaki out on every single stage talking about what they were doing. So I do think they could have done a better job of evangelizing stuff, and they probably will, right? If Tim Cook really wants their strategy to be successful with newer versions of the Vision Pro or whatever else they're bringing to the market, I think more evangelism towards not only developers would be good. Yeah. So once again, proving that this was a developer product.
Right. We'll see. Version 2 is around the corner.
We'll see. So also talking about physical world stuff, this is really cool. And once again, I feel like London is slowly becoming a hotbed for immersive physical world entertainment, like that mixture. I mean, we've got the Sphere in Vegas, right? But I do think like everything that's happening in London with the AVA show, with the new Elvis show that's coming next year. And this one's cool. It's an immersive new exhibition at London's Light Room. It's going to explore the history of the runway show, which I love, right? What is it called?
I have nothing to say here.
The space's astonishing 4-story tall walls as a backdrop. Visitors are going to be able to experience and interact with era-defining runway presentations up close starting November 13th. Very exciting for that to be happening in London. Obviously beautiful. I've seen the pictures. I mean, obviously I haven't been to London, so I haven't experienced it. But seeing the beautiful images, literally people walking around Lightroom and seeing these gorgeous, like, giant runway shows. I haven't read everything about it, but I'm sure Alexander McQueen, who was one of my favorite designers because he passed away a long time ago, but very visionary when it came to technology. I'm sure that's part of it. So excited. Vogue's involved in this. So once again, immersive, coming into the physical world, trying to bridge physical and virtual in fashion, which, as you know, I love. Music's your thing.
That's your side of it.
That's my side of the house. So it's Saturday Chante. We love that. So I want to talk a little bit about some AI news, right? Because we always have to talk about AI. We have to. That's just what the people want. So a couple of interesting things happening in the AI space. AI startup Perplexity is about to triple its valuation to $9 billion in a new funding round. The AI search company is raising $500 million in its fourth funding round this year.
I don't get it.
Bonkers. That's bananas.
Yeah, it is. That is on like Donkey Kong. I have no skin in the game here. I actually don't know too much about Perplexity. I know what they are. I know that they're an AI-focused search engine.
Like, I'm invested in this, but yeah.
I haven't played too much with it, but $9 billion evaluation, to triple an evaluation on a fourth funding round, it's why it feels like a bubble.
And that is a controversial statement for some people, right?
And I don't mean, I'm not saying it is, because you don't know if it's a bubble until it pops. There was stuff that felt like a bubble and like it wasn't a bubble. Okay. People said the internet was a bubble and it wasn't a bubble.
The metaverse, everything. The NFT were a bubble though.
But this, it does feel like a bubble. And it's when you start seeing these companies that you're just not that familiar with, that have not proven a large land and expand strategy for the masses, right? Until I start feeling like everybody is using whatever, fill in the blank, like ChatGPT. There's enough people who know ChatGPT. Like, I still think their evaluation is way too high for what they are, but I can understand why it has a growing evaluation. The triple evaluation that fast gives you whiplash. That's all I can say to it. Maybe it's worth every penny and more. That evaluation can continue to go up.
They have to raise funds because it is incredibly expensive to run these LLMs. And the only way to keep going is a new funding round. So obviously the valuations got to increase from let's say from a venture standpoint, right? They have to do this in order to continue doing what they're doing. Do I think the valuation is granted? I don't know.
Okay, let remove the company from it for a moment. And
okay, let's take that away.
Take the company. So those listening who are fans of Perplexity, this is not against you or anything like that. Let's just talk about LLMs. You and I have both discussed in the past that LLMs have diminishing returns as it grows, right? Like they're getting pushed further, but that growth rate is slowing down. Are LLMs actually worth it?
That, Lee, in itself is a brilliant question in the sense that anyone that's listened to us knows that I sometimes read Gary Marcus on AI, his Substack, which is brilliant. Gary is like to some people, a contrarian when it comes to like thinking about AI, generative AI. He's been in the AI world for a long time. He put out a newsletter and said, confirmed, LLMs have indeed reached a point of diminishing return. He talked about an article from The Information that says OpenAI shifts strategy as rate of GPT AI improvement slows. He talks about Andreessen. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening in that space. For example, it says a few days ago, the well-known venture capitalist Mark Andreessen started to spill the beans. He said on a podcast, we're increasing graphic processing units, GPUs, at the same rate. We're not getting the intelligent improvements at all out of it, which Marcus says, which is basically VCS for deep learning is hitting a wall, which is his big thesis.
Right.
So there are signals, and I'm not saying this is happening. Like, I am not privy to what might be happening inside Perplexity, what might be happening inside OpenAI, what might be happening inside Claude, Anthropic about this. But I do think if you throw more compute, if you throw more power, if you throw all these sorts of things, more training data, does it make it better? Can we scale at the rate that they need to scale in order for it to have the returns that it's supposed to have?
Yeah.
At a $9 billion valuation or whatever crazy AI startup valuation.
It is about that return, right? So like to bring it back to like the video game industry is learning this in real time right now. We have officially hit a point where better graphics do not matter. And quite the antithesis is starting to occur. So you cannot get away with just selling a more powerful video game console. And Sony is learning this in real time the hard way with their release of the Sony PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
No, it's a hard piece of hardware that no one's buying because it's too expensive, too powerful, and the games don't actually need it. This is just a market viability structure that I question where LLMs peak and plateau, and then all of a sudden throwing another billion at it doesn't actually get it that much better, right? How many billions are we supposed to throw at it before it just levels out and says, this is the end of the line, at least for where computational powers are right now.
Yeah.
Sure, we can get into some weird philosophical conversation about quantum computing and blah, 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 blah. But that isn't right now.
But as of right now, the infrastructure that is available to run these LLMs
Right.
is limited, right?
I mean, we've seen it with processing power. Intel went through it with the Moore's Law, started to top out. And Moore's Law lasted longer than I think most people expected. It lasted a very long time. But at that exponential rate, that just means that very long time from when it was originally contrived to now is very much compressed when you started over with like an LLM. Like, okay, what is the rate of return that we're going to see here based on investment in processing power? I don't know if it's worth it.
Well, that's where I start to think about it within AI. That's the part of generative AI focused on large language models, right? I am really bullish on computer vision,
Sure.
on what comes with that, robotics, computer vision, extending computing into the physical world, all that comes with that, large vision models, whatever the hell we're going to call them, multimodal, right? Whatever word. But I do think that there is really interesting stuff there happening in the spatial intelligence side, combination of spatial computing and intelligence and giving AI a way to see the world, understand, and implement. That's when it truly becomes useful. So yeah, like I do think that there's this whole world over here focused on large language models and all that stuff, focused on generative AI specifically around that. But yeah, I'm very keen to see what happens in this other space. Do you have anything else to say about Perplexity? Because I want to jump into...
No, not on Perplexity, because I just don't know enough. I'm just looking at it from like a basic market structure. So no, go on.
Yeah, bananas. I think bonkers, bananas, whatever you want to use there. That being said, when you look at what OpenAI is starting to do, right? OpenAI has talked about Sam Altman partnering with Johnny Ive to create new hardware. Some of the latest news that happened last week is that OpenAI has hired Meta's former Orion head. So Orion, the augmented reality holographic glasses.
Right.
They hired the former head of Orion to lead its robotics efforts. She's an amazing woman. And yeah, she has joined them to lead the startup's robotics and consumer hardware efforts. And this is what she said, quote unquote. She said this on LinkedIn, basically that she is working with OpenAI to bring AI into the physical world. Like that to me, massive signal of where they're going with computer vision, with AI that can understand and see the physical world, spatial computing. Very interesting move.
Yeah, it catches me off guard because it is like the highlight of Orion is the most talked about piece of speculative hardware right now, right? That drop by Meta of like, here's our AR glasses is still causing ripples and people are still talking about it. People are still like influencers are lining up to like just try it so they can talk about it and things like that. And we know that it is very much speculative hardware in the sense that this particular iteration will never see the light of day. This is not coming to a home near you. This will be years in the future. But it is strange to me that there's a massive splash of a piece of hardware. Then the head of that hardware is now moved over to basically ChatGPT to work on the robotics side of things, which is necessary. Like, I'm still having that question mark of where is Boston Dynamics and all of this come to the table.
I forget about them sometimes. I'm so sorry, but I do.
Well, that's a Hyundai problem, right? Like they purchased them. They need to put them out a little bit more often, I think. But who knows? So we do have those questions. We also have Apple lurking in the background with Apple Intelligence, who have the most cameras on the planet. Like,
yeah, right? But I will say, okay, the timing of Caitlin Kalinowski's announcement was the same day as OpenAI's investment into Physical Intelligence, a robot startup in San Francisco. Once again, bringing spatial intelligence and AI to the physical world. And Sam Altman at Wall Street Journal Tech Live, not this year, but last year, was talking about not so much replacing the mobile phone, but creating a new type of hardware. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, maybe in 2025, and this could be part of our prediction episode, we will see this new type of consumer hardware that they might bring to market. But big hire for OpenAI.
Still, when you start getting into hardware, you're talking about a company that has been largely server-based, right? Like it's a software company. So going into hardware is a bumpy road for anyone who's not done it before. I don't care how much money you have or what your name is. It is tricky and it can go wrong in so many ways. What we do know, and this actually wasn't in our news list, which kind of surprised me, was Sam Altman purchasing chat.com. And like that gives you an immediate understanding of where they're going in the short term, right? So obviously GPT is a mouthful of letters that most people do not understand or want to understand. So how do we just get it to this is your chat function? So that made sense to me when I saw that article. Yes. Okay, you're going after just this is where you go to chat to figure out what you're doing online. And you and I have both said it many moons ago of like, that's Google's biggest threat.
Yeah, 100%.
Is when people start leveraging ChatGPT or just now chat.com over Google being a search engine.
Yeah. So he paid more than $15 million for chat.com. And if you go to chat.com, it'll take you straight to ChatGPT, which I find interesting. Two things there. ChatGPT now has the search functionality within ChatGPT. It's not great. I'll be honest. Not great. Right? I think we both can attest it's not great. So it's not writing home to anyone about it.
It's not there yet.
Not there yet. But hey, they're starting to compete.
Right.
And then the other thing that is completely not related to the purchase or to AI, and I put this on LinkedIn and I tagged you, was that chat, which is a slang term for Generation Alpha, Gen Zers and Gen Alpha.
Okay.
Comes from the gaming world, is something my kids use all the time.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, blah, 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 chat, or chat, is this real? Like, they use the word chat. Like, yo, chat, let's go here. Like, chat is a word they use for, like, a lot of different things. I think and I said, jokingly, before this news broke, I was talking to my kids and I said, chat, because I try to be cool with them. And they literally turned over and like, Mom, that is so cringe. Chat is over. Yeah, so I was like, well, chat's just getting started because Sam Altman paid $50 million for chat.com.
How much did Facebook pay for Meta?
Do we even know?
No, I don't think we do.
No one knows.
But I'm just sitting here saying large companies do have a tendency of trying to buy domain names and running a term into the ground.
Okay.
Was it wise to go from Twitter to X? Did that actually increase a single follower? Like, did that increase? You know what I mean? Like, it's just expensive neighborhood property online.
Expensive domain. I did think about you and me who have domain issues, like domain addictions.
Oh,
but I've stopped buying domains. I just don't buy them anymore.
I did too. I pulled back in the last 2 years quite a bit. I own a couple that I actually use, Keebs.com, because that's been my artist name for so long. And it is really hard to own like a 5-letter domain name that you can pronounce. So that's probably the only one that I need in my name. I was able to get that as a .com, but I think the actual speculative .com hoarding has gone way down, which is probably just dead internet theory at this point.
Dead internet theory. Well, wouldn't you have loved if ChatGPT was Keeps GPT?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
$50 million for Keebs.com.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
In an ideal world, that's the hope, right? When we're buying a domain, something wonderful will happen. Someone will need this domain.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going towards a website-less world, app-less world. I mean, whatever.
But it's true. We are moving in that direction.
We are moving in that direction. So let's go on break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about wearables. It's a wearable world and some of the latest news in wearables.
This message is brought to you by Warner Brothers Discovery Advertising. And this is more than an ad. This is an invitation to be part of the stories the world can't stop watching, to connect with moments that dominate the conversation, to participate in culture, not just advertise around it. With the most sought-after IP, passionate audiences, and an advanced AI-powered foundation, WBD advertising transforms attention into influence and impressions into outcomes. This is innovation. This is impact. This is opportunity. This is Warner Brothers Discovery Advertising. Visit advertising.wbd.com to learn more.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them? That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
All right, Lee, wearables. I mean, we talk about wearables all the time. We talk about on-device AI, what's happening in that space. By the way, have you upgraded to you don't have an iPhone anymore.
No.
Oh my
Adios.
gosh, on a Pixel. Yeah, Apple Intelligence. I mean,
Meh. I've had Gemini on my phone for like a year now.
you're like, I've had it.
It's fine.
I've been ahead of it. Okay, let's see. But Apple is reportedly devising plans to enter the smart glasses market. Obviously, they've begun a study. The study's called codename Atlas.
Horrible code name. Just don't like that code name. I don't know why.
Code names. I mean, I worked inside Magic Leap. We had the goofiest code names for stuff. Like, that's just what they do.
Wearables is so tricky, especially when you start talking about glasses, because you're not just talking about, hey, we're going to make some amazing tech. You have to make fashion out of it. I think this is what Meta got right by partnering with Ray-Ban. I think they knew that if they tried to do it themselves, it would be nothing but hubris and it would fail. I don't know if Apple has the same ability to self-reflect and say, you know what, maybe there's some things we can't do or shouldn't do. And are they going to go to like a Burberry or something? I don't know, right?
Yeah, that's where my mind went, just because of the partnerships they have with fashion and how one of the former C-suite at Burberry got hired at Apple and stuff. The smart way to go is to partner with some luxury brand, right? Like they've done that stuff with Hermes, right? They've done watches with Hermes. Like I could see, maybe not no one's running out to get Hermes glasses per se, but partnering with Gucci or partnering with whoever, right? And LVMH.
I think this is what was so smart about Ray-Ban though, is like Ray-Ban was considered like their luxury. They are definitely like expensive, but they are very much an everyman glass too, right?
There's different styles, different sizes, and mostly fit everyone and mostly looks good on everyone, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It does have a very like grounded, down to earth brand to it. I think Ray-Ban is very just an interesting brand when it comes to this.
Well, I don't think it's down to earth. Like
I do. I absolutely
really?
like. Yeah.
Ray-Ban. Like I don't know. I don't feel like it's. I mean, I want to feel cool. I don't want to feel like everyday man.
It has a lot of respect, but it also doesn't. If you wear your Ray-Bans to like the store, it's no big deal. But if you also wore your Ray-Bans to the fanciest party, it's no big deal.
It's no big
right?
deal.
It is a
everyday
level
use.
setted. Yes,
Maybe.
It's an everyday use thing. I don't necessarily consider it high-end luxury, and that's a positive, right?
It's affordable luxury. I don't want to get into, there's a lot of debate about purses, Michael Kors and Tapestry and what's happening there.
You don't want to debate purses with me? Why not?
You're such a connoisseur. But affordable luxury, let's call it that, attainable luxury. I will say, to your point, from a fashion perspective, and I've always said this, glasses are a very personal purchase, right? Because everyone's face is different, has different angles, the bridge of your nose, all these sorts of things. So yeah, partnering with fashion brands that have created these sorts of things that look good, that can provide different styles, I think that would be just the smart thing to do. They should focus on the optics, the operating system, and all those sorts of things. And whatever they bring, and it has to be cool because let's face it, as much as I love the Vision Pro, it's dorky. Like it's no one wants to be out there wearing this. Like I wore it in public once just because I wanted to see what people would do. It was Mobile World Congress. You could see people staring and like, ooh, but like, is it something? Yeah, it was, just for show. So
Right. I remember people doing that with the Microsoft HoloLens when they came out. Every once in a while, especially in like Seattle, when you were in like Microsoft country, you would be out and someone would be wearing a HoloLens. And it was never as cool as that person thought. This goes back to the whole Google Glass era problem, which was a really small form factor, but the glass hole was real. Like that was a real thing. But had Google had the foresight to say, we're going to work with someone who makes glasses and we're going to put the Google Glass as a add-on option to it, would that have changed the market? I actually think it could have.
We would probably be working at Google now.
Right.
I don't know where we would be. So yeah, things like that. And then Apple's also, we've talked about this, adding cameras to the AirPods, coming potentially in 2027. Just a lot of stuff happening there.
I'm going to wait before I say if I think Apple making glasses is a good idea or not. Just because, yes, they've made wearables in the past. You've got the watch. Earbuds are considered a wearable. But is the second it's on your face, it's so much trickier to get right. And it can go real. It's a long ways from your wrist to your face. You're putting technology on the most valuable property, right? To a person. Like people care about what's going on. What is going on your face. And it's really not going to be a simple solution if they don't partner with another
It's
company.
got to look good. It's got to look good. It's got to be fashionable. I've always said that it is a choice. And whatever device you end up wearing is a wearable. It is a signal of whether you've made it, you haven't made it, you're sexy, you're not sexy, you're desirable, you're not desirable. It's got to look good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's got
it's
to
true.
look good. Just like iPhones are, well, you don't have one anymore, but
Yeah. And I'm making a statement with that.
You're making a statement with that. I get it. I love my iPhone. But anyway, so Lily's actually on vacation, everyone. So there's no dispatch from the fringe. So I bring you a question, Lee, to you and to our audience, a fringy question. And I heard this question the other day in a group I'm a part of that does these really amazing calls, and it's under Chatham House rules, so I can't really talk about it. But the question, which was a really good question posted to the group, was if you could insert a microchip into your brain that would allow you to make always the right choices and not make any mistakes, guide you in the right direction, would you do it? Being, and this is the caveat, it is something you can remove. It is reversible. You can remove it if you don't want, if you feel like you don't want it. Would you want to always be right or always make the right decision, et cetera, powered by AI agents, of course, right? Is that something, and this is the question for you and the question for the audience. So I want you to think about it, give me your answer, and then I'll tell you my answer.
Well, my answer is really easy for me to throw out there because I am neck deep in the middle of a second novel that is about this very concept. So the answer is no.
No.
Because I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. I'm basically through the first act of a second novel just based around this very concept of would you do it, with the caveat that it could be removed. And what I have come to a conclusion is there's a lot of times scenarios where you can't make a right or wrong answer. And it's just, there's too much gray in all of that. I feel like you're making a decision based on past knowledge, right? That's the only way that AI creates any type of generative answer is based on past data sets. But there's so much that is still unknown that you don't know you're actually making the right decision. You're just making the right decision as it was understood over the last X amount of data sets. That might not be the right decision for this time around. So you just can't do that. And I honestly feel like the human experience already has that in a way when it just comes to our DNA and instinct. So that is basically biomechanical history, right? Like that's just like in our brain telling us, okay, this is your flight or fight response. Here's what you need to do.
This feels wrong, but
I put a lot of value to that. I don't want to turn that off. You and I have known each other for a long time. And when I get a gut feeling,
I know
it just is what it is. And I have to assume that's just like thousands of iterations of human experience coursing through our brains. We need to just rely on that as opposed to shutting that part off and replacing it with a microchip.
Yeah.
That's my soapbox.
That's your, So people think about your answer. Share it with us on social. Let us know what you think. I will say it was interesting because the group, I can't really talk about a lot of it, but like we did talk about like what is a mistake? What is right? What is wrong? As humans, part of the experience of being human is learning from mistakes, right? When you get up, when you fall, you get up. And that's part of being resilient and learning, et cetera. So what if you don't have that? If you're always right and you're always doing the right decision, well, depending, according to who? If the AI agent is managing it, it's according to the AI system. Yeah. Do you lose your independence? So, those sorts of things. I did say my answer at the moment, granted, I was on the call, I was driving, I'm in my car, I'm thinking about all the gazillion things I have to do with my kids. I said, as a newly divorced mom of 3 kids, if I can optimize my career, my kids, my personal time, all these sorts of things, optimizing something where I'm not making so many mistakes or missing out, I would probably do it. Then get it out, right? After I've optimized, but I don't know. So I did say that. I did say, looking at it from that perspective of my everyday life.
Sure.
I mean, sometimes it's just really hard. But once again, AI in the physical world, like if it can serve a purpose in the physical world, I'm all for it.
I mean, I'm assuming it's not answering questions. It's just giving you like, it's like a...
We didn't get that deep.
You know what I mean?
Like
that.
No, we're not talking about, what was that movie with Bradley Cooper where the Limitless. It's more like guiding you, like, oh yeah, do this or don't do that. Turn here, don't turn there. Like maybe more like optimizing stuff. I did say yes. Granted, I would want to get it out. Like, but then the thing is, like, maybe you get hooked on it. And as someone, I'm a guinea pig for all these technologies, maybe not inside my brain, external. But every time I've used a brain-computer interface device that's external, and I know it, my brain loves it, loves the workout, just thinking about it, like something lights up and I'm just like, is this addiction? Or
Yeah,
is it that my
sure.
brain really likes to work out? So lots of food for thought there.
The bigger question that you didn't ask is, does it matter who made the chip?
Ooh, we didn't even get that far, but that's a brilliant question. So
Yeah, let that one resonate for a little while. I don't even have
the
to go down
Huawei
that
chip
route.
versus the Meta chip versus the Apple chip versus the open source chip from whoever. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want anyone hacking into my brain. That's a good point. And who has access to the data? Where is it going to be stored? Okay, many questions, but I think it's a great question. Folks, reach out to us. Let us know, would you get the chip implanted or not? And if you did, why would you do it? Or why not? So Lee, you ready to close this out?
Yes. And before we go, I also want to, again, this week, leave with a music recommendation. I'm in that forget the generative playlist. It's not working for me. Go dig through record crates, find music that actually is in your mood. Most recently, I've been listening to Blacks and Blues by Bobby Humphrey. It's a 1973 jazz classic that blends soulful flute, deep rhythm grooves. It's a laid back jazz album. It is perfect for morning tea, morning coffee. It's most well known for what would be considered a single called Harlem River Drive. It's perfect for anyone who loves rich jazz fusion. It's very cool. 70s soul through and through. My personal favorite track on it is called Chicago Dam. And it's frankly like the algorithm's not going to tell you to check this out. So that's why DJs exist. That's what I do. Go check it out. It's what I'm listening to right now. So yeah, Bobby Humphrey, Blacks and Blues, 1973. Enjoy.
All right. Well, I'm reading. What am I listening to and reading? I picked this up. I think I mentioned it maybe in our last podcast, but the Harvard Business Review, the Year in Tech 2025, it has Harvard Business Review's latest thinking on the future of business. My article on the Apple Vision Pro being used is actually in it. So I made it into the Harvard Business Review, the Year in Tech 2025. Amy Webb has an article in here. Lots of brilliant folks. Definitely check it out, guys. Check it out. The Year in Tech 2025 from the Harvard Business Review. I'm one of the authors. Just thrilled.
Congratulations. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. Well, thanks for tuning into Tech Magic, where we always invite you to come for the tech, stay for the magic. I'm Lee Kebler here with the incredible Cathy Hackl. Special thanks, as always, to our producer, Lily Snyder, and to Adweek for bringing this show to you. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and let us know your thoughts. We also want you to answer the question on the brain chip. What are you doing? We'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Just search for Tech Magic, Cathy Hackl, or me, Lee Kebler, and we'll be back next week.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them? That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.